Imagine as you open the break room fridge, starving after a grueling 12-hour shift, only to find your lunch is gone. Again, 6 days in a row. That kind of disrespect does something to you. And for me, it pushed me to the edge. Because the day I finally fought back, my revenge almost killed a man. If you've ever had someone walk all over you, if you've ever wanted justice when no one else would give it, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more true-style revenge stories and settle in, because this one is going to sting. I was working at this massive factory, the kind of place where people weren't people, they were just temps. Management hired through 5 different agencies. Faces came and went so fast that you couldn't keep track. Every day felt like the first day of school, except lonelier. It was tough enough to get through 12-hour shifts surrounded by strangers, but then something worse started happening. At first, I thought I was imagining things. I'd pack a lunch, put it neatly in the break room fridge, and by the time break rolled around, it was gone. Not misplaced, not forgotten. Gone. Day 1, I shrugged it off. Maybe I left it at home. Day 2, I checked the car, the locker, everywhere. Nothing. By day 3, I knew someone, some selfish coward, was stealing my food. And that cut deep. See, when you're pulling 12-hour shift in a factory, lunch isn't just food. It's hope. It's your one break from the grind, the one thing you look forward to. And this thief was ripping it right out of my hands. Every time I opened that fridge to find an empty spot where my lunch should have been, my stomach twisted. I could feel my pulse in my temples. My jaw clenched so hard it ached. By the end of the week, 6 lunches gone, I wasn't just hungry. I was humiliated, powerless. The worst part? I didn't even know who was doing it. Everyone was a suspect. Every smile in the hallway looked fake. Every laugh sounded like it was at my expense. I started to feel like prey. The lunchbox bandit, as I started calling them in my head, wasn't just stealing food. They were stealing my dignity. It takes a special kind of person to knowingly eat someone else's lunch, day after day, watching them suffer. And that meant only one thing. This person deserved payback. One night, after another 12-hour shift with nothing in my stomach but black coffee and resentment, I sat at home staring at my kitchen counter. My fists were tight. My eyes were burning. I knew I couldn't let it go on. That's when the idea came. I had a jar of Carolina Reaper peppers, some of the hottest peppers in the world. Just one can light your mouth on fire for hours. Eat enough? It feels like death itself is clawing up your throat. And I thought, perfect. I spent hours cooking that night. Slow-cooked steak, sizzling onions and peppers, handmade tortillas. My masterpiece, steak fajitas, so good you could smell them from the next room. But the secret weapon? I minced those Carolina Reapers into a fresh pico de gallo, each little piece of pepper practically glowing with menace. Then I spooned it with fajitas, topped it with cilantro and fresh lime. It looked delicious. It smelled heavenly. But one bite? It was pure hellfire. I placed it all in a clear Tupperware container, visible, irresistible. I wanted it to invite the thief in. This wasn't just lunch. This was bait. The next morning, I walked into the break room with my devil's fajitas, heart pounding. My palms were sweaty as I placed the container front and center in the fridge. It was out of my hands now. For the next hour, I worked with one ear tuned to the hallway, waiting, wondering. My stomach twisted with nerves. Part of me worried, what if nobody takes it today? What if the bandits skip work? What if they know it's a trap? But then, a scream tore through the hallway. I froze. My heart leapt into my throat. Everyone rushed toward the break room, and I followed. There, on the floor, was the lunchbox bandit, face beet red, clutching their chests, gasping for air. Their eyes bulged in panic. They weren't just suffering from heat. The peppers had triggered an asthma attack. The room exploded into chaos. Someone shouted for help. Another ran to call 911. I just stood there, pulse thundering in my ears. I had wanted revenge. I had wanted them to suffer, but I hadn't expected this. Paramedics arrived, rushed him out, and the whole factory buzzed with whispers. Nobody knew what happened. Nobody knew who was behind it. And me? I kept my mouth shut. The thief survived. He never said a word about the fajitas. I never confessed. But I'll never forget the look on his face as he hit the floor, gasping, realizing that he had finally stolen the wrong lunch. Did I feel guilty? Yes, for a moment. But then I remembered 6 long days of hunger, 6 days of humiliation, 6 days of watching my food disappear while I worked myself to the bone. And suddenly, I didn't feel so powerless anymore. Revenge isn't always neat. Sometimes it goes further than you plan. But in the end, justice has a way of finding people who think they can take without consequence. The lunchbox bandit learned that the hard way. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments. Have you ever caught someone stealing your food? What would you have done in my shoes? And don't forget, subscribe for more spine-tingling revenge stories where karma always serves the final course.